There we go.
Ooh, that was slick.
9.
Was
They
it?
call me. Yeah, it was. I
Niner,
think I'll get it right on time.
5.
I just want to keep talking
4,
over Joe because he always says those numbers,
3,
and it's like, what is
2,
going on here?
1,
Right.
and we're live.
He's counting all of your squirrel friends. I mean, skunk friends.
Your skunk friends.
Thank you. I appreciate that because I tried hard, guys.
Did they come back?
Or what?
Does what come back?
Are they back?
Yeah.
That's it. Stop.
Hello, everybody.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another fantastic showing of the Social UnDistancing show.
What's up?
Does she have cavities? Is that what we're looking for?
Her tooth is wiggling. Oh, that means $5 for you and me. Bye, baby. Good night. Say good night to everyone.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night. Sorry.
Bow.
So,
Mow.
oh, guys, it's been a crazy couple days here.
How does your house smell today?
Much better. But I had the fans on down here in the basement, and I had the bathroom fan on and the door open, and we was just airing stuff out of the house as best we can, and it worked really well.
Good. I'm glad.
Thank you. It was terrible last night too. I was up and I was like, I'm not getting sleep.
What is our show about tonight?
Oh. Well, before we get into that.
Wait, no, is it like I'm just trying to type it up on my Facebook post?
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
so tonight we're doing the first. There's not a specific order, but one of the dimensions of
on dimensions of
wellness.
And
today's is physical.
Think of the
you
song.
should have been playing. Yeah, no,
let's get physical.
See, nobody.
We're right there.
I didn't get the note, so I can't find it.
It was just plastered on the Facebook page for a little bit over 24 hours.
Yeah.
Oh, that we still have that?
You must have been asleep during nap 3 and 1 of the next day.
Yeah, maybe so. I actually did not take a nap today.
Really?
Oh my.
Yeah. So did you see me yawn earlier? Because
because we're tiring you out. We're boring you.
No, maybe.
Yeah, quite possibly, but no.
So how was y'all's day? Anybody?
Not as adventurous as Jamie's.
It was pretty crazy today, guys. I worked as normal, and then I came home and I was like, okay, I don't want this smelling bad. For those of you who weren't here yesterday, we have skunks underneath the house, and they rank.
Show
rank
pictures
so
of
bad.
your skunks.
Oh, you want to see those? Okay, so then, you got me a good picture, Sandy. Here, look, I'll show you. I'll show you here. I was gonna play the video while we talked about our day, so everyone could just see the craziness.
Let's do the video. That's even better.
Even better?
Yes.
Okay. Let me get it ready over here. So
I wish
anyway,
we had our live commentary. That would be even more.
Oh my gosh! So I did the live video last night, and then again tonight. First off, let me tell everyone, I flooded their home. I did not kill them. They're fine. They're alive. They are, I'm sure, just a little displaced, but they are going to be thriving wherever it is they go. They will come back though, and it'll take me a couple days to get them truly gone. Okay.
Ammonia and wolf pee.
And what? Wolverine pee?
Yeah.
Here we go. What is that?
Pew.
I was like, what is going on?
What is it?
That was Pepe Le Pew. That's my name.
Yeah.
5 babies and a mom.
Yeah, so we're not gonna play the whole thing. Oh, this is, guys, this is behind the scenes footage here.
Annoying.
The Kisa, Dr. Pineapple started filming while I was filming. So what y'all were seeing, but this is what y'all didn't see. And my wife actually shows me with when I thought Joe said, bring the trash can.
No idea.
Yeah, I said bang the trash can.
He sure did, but in the excitement of it all.
Said that the skunk's name was
Holding a trash can.
Look at Captain America over there.
As if that will help him. Oh my
In my
goodness,
defense,
if
I
that
really
will
was
help
trying to
him
take
with
the
this
advice of
issue.
my view of people who were watching, and I thought Joe said,
Oh my
"Bring the
goodness.
trash
So there's a
can."
mom, and my husband flooded their home.
I sure did.
So,
Look at
She
her
made-
throwing you under the bus. My
I know. I was
husband
about to say she's
flooded
making me
the
sound.
home.
yeah, they're just hanging out.
They really are
And
cute,
they're
though, guys.
nocturnal, so of course
There's
they
one
want to be
whose tail is almost
sleeping.
all white, and he
Dad,
is the little
right
runt
now.
of the whole
Come in
bunch.
closer.
Wow.
He sees Dad.
Here, let's see.
She did see me, and I could see her. She was like, her mouth was, and there's a point. I don't know if my wife will get it, but she gets up on her hind legs, and I was like, "Oh no!"
Right there.
Is that what she's doing? Yeah, I think maybe.
My husband's getting kind of close. It
I
looks
wasn't
like the
trying to
mom
like
is
mess with
getting
them, but I was
in a
trying to
posture.
get them to go
Uh-oh.
away
She
because I
doesn't
don't
look
want them
happy that
to
my
try
husband's
to.
out.
I didn't want them
Her
to
tail is
accidentally spray again,
Uh-oh.
You were
and the
trying to
smell permeate the house.
agitate them.
No, that's the last thing I wanted to
I
do.
know.
So I
Ashley,
thought
the
with
trash can lid.
an appearance, they would go away.
Oh my goodness. This is what happens when you decide you in Bloomington.
Oh my gosh, is it so
Okay, so mom keeps on going back
There.
and forth
No, this is the final
since
time
her
when she
home
goes
is
away.
flooding. She goes to our
It's all
hydrangea
Dad's fault. Don't
bush.
blame us.
She goes back and forth, and then she brings the kids back. And we have no idea. My husband said there's not a place in town that will come get them.
There they go.
I think they're going to the neighbor's
They're
yard.
going. Oh my gosh.
Is
I was
that
a
our
little
fault?
scared right there, guys.
Yes, it's your fault.
So
Oh my
towards the end of
goodness.
my video, you can see me saying,
What
"There's
should
the
we
little
do?
girl comes out of the house to take some
Well, we
trash."
don't
And I'm
want
like, "Watch out! There's little things underneath the car. Watch out!"
And she was like, okay, thanks.
Yeah, she was.
Call the
She really
neighbors,
was.
guys. What do you think?
That's crazy, dude.
What
Yeah.
should we do?
So
Okay, I think
Anyway, stay tuned to more adventures of Jamie
yeah,
and his 5 skunks.
Right. The Adventures of Mr. Pineapples.
and this
his
isn't my
skunk.
first rodeo with these skunks. Everyone, this is not my first rodeo with them. Okay, so
So did she have more babies last time that she was?
if not her babies. If not her babies.
So this is a generational.
Yeah, this is a second generation skunks. That's
So you
exactly
built
a
your
good way to put
house
it.
on their house.
No. I was here first. They came here.
No,
Yes.
that's not what it sounds like.
Generations of skunks have been
Two
breeding.
generations, Sandy. Two.
Generations.
This
of
is their
skunks
second one.
that you
I have
see-
2 generations of family here. My kids.
Yeah.
that you see, Jamie.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm about to boot you, Sandy, too. both of you.
I was telling you to bang the trash can, and they
He
would
sure
like,
did.
and they would bolt off because any loud noise like that, they're gonna scatter. They're
That's
not
why I
gonna.
was like, get fireworks.
They're not gonna go towards the fireworks. They're
That's as
not
good as the tranquilizer comment I got last night.
the fireworks. Yeah, because you just have those in your back pocket, don't you?
Well,
People
also,
always have fireworks.
and you don't. So we don't have fireworks in Illinois.
What you mean?
We got
Mr. W
sparklers.
doesn't set up and sell it.
We've
You don't have the-
sparklers and little.
You don't have the black cat stands at your place,
Dude, we ain't got none of that. It's illegal,
Wow.
which is weird because it's beautiful, luscious, green, cool, and rains often here. But you
I
guys
see.
down there, the exact opposite.
We have burn bans and we still popping fireworks.
Yeah.
That's
y'all
right.
do.
That's right. We start
Yep.
fires where we need to start fires at.
Say that again.
We help fires.
We help.
Linda, let's look
Burn
at Linda.
stuff.
Linda's like cayenne pepper and garlic seasoning runs the skunks off. I almost bought like 2 big things of cayenne pepper, but I thought, man, water's almost free. I'm not gonna pay $16 here for 2 things of cayenne pepper that
Well-
the skunk will probably smell and be like, "Pfft,
And
try
then
next
you
time.
steak, and then they'll stay there forever because you seasoned their steak with garlic and
Yeah, you should probably go ahead
Oh.
and sprinkle some out anyway, just because that'll at least drive them off. Or you should probably just go pee around the hole, and then you'll scare them.
I
that
thought
way.
about that actually, but I didn't want to get busted for indecency around here. So
so pour it in a cup
Yeah,
like you're doing a UA.
man, Sandy's got it.
write that down.
Oh, hand me those notes, Jamie. Hand
What?
them to me.
Yeah.
Hand me
He's
the notes.
thinking,
I was
he's
like, hand me the notes. It's like, which way is it? Here we go. Hand me the notes.
I
I
saw
got the
both
notes.
of y'all.
Look, I got the notes.
You got my notes.
Both of y'all's brains were like, where do I
I was
turn?
like, which way do I
Where
go?
do
Anyway, so I know we're at the 10-minute mark, guys, but tell us how your days were.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay.
all we know is Piper had a birthday today and she's 7.
She
Right.
looks so cute. She looks so cute. I do want to show that picture though, Sandy, because I did think that was kind of adorable.
Adorable.
She was
Adorbs.
adorbs, and then she has an ear infection, so there's that.
Oh, poor baby. There she is.
Y'all see her little cupcake and everything?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, she's not little.
No, she's not, is she?
She's a 110-pound little baby.
Yeah, she is not little.
Little bundle of joy there.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, girl.
Happy birthday.
So I guess we also got to do our business of the day too, guys,
Okay,
before we get our guest on. So I'm sorry.
Yes.
Make it real quick.
Shout out to my sweet friend Jessica Segala. She owns Sweet Things by Jessica. She is has a cottage bakery based in Lubbock, Texas. And
Lubbock,
she
Texas.
offers made-to-order, home-baked, from-scratch alternatives to mass-produced and industrialized bacon with an assortment of cookies and cupcakes. She also makes a mean pecan pie, and believe that. And you can message her on Facebook for your orders and tell her we sent you. That
Look at all those.
y'all. She's got.
We
some-
need to sample some, like, all of that.
What's her name again, Sandy?
Jessica.
Jessica?
Yes.
Jessica. So whenever we do these kind of things, we also get like a, sample so we can tell the people what it really
Yeah,
tastes
we definitely
like.
need a care package.
Scroll down
So
to
if
that Superman one. I knew you were
Where's
gonna love
it?
that one. Look.
Look at oh,
That's
that's
nice.
gnarly.
That's nice.
Awesome.
Hey,
Okay.
Jamie,
Yes, sir.
who do we have on the show today?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Joe. So guys, we talked about wanting to do a mini series on the 7 dimensions of wellness. And so to get us kicked off today, I thought it'd be nice if we focus on the physical piece or the physical dimension of wellness. And I have a buddy here in Illinois who's a nurse. He just finished, I don't know how to say it properly, but I'll let him do it. But he just finished
Schooling.
school for his nurse practitioner. And in Illinois, the center to take the exam isn't open yet. But as soon as it does, then he heads there to go take his exam. And then if he passes, he will be an officially licensed nurse practitioner here in Illinois.
So when he passes, he'll pass.
I'm sorry, yes, when he passes. Thank you, Joe. When he passes. But Jay guys, let me tell you, he's such an encouraging guy. I go to church with him. I've known him for many years. And he was one of the first people I ever met when I moved up here to Illinois. He had dinner with me one night. We hung out. We got to talk a lot about each other, friends, family, histories, and everything. He's always a super encouraging guy. When I go to church, he's always saying compliments, and he always makes sure he goes to everyone and he gives them this little special attention. And I think it's really great. He's a family man. He's married. He's got a couple of kids, and yeah. So anyway, without further ado, I definitely want to welcome Jay Dietrich to the show, to the Social and Distancing show. Welcome, Jay Dietrich.
Yay.
Jay Dietrich.
Hello.
Hi, Jay. Welcome.
Thank you for
Welcome.
inviting me on the show.
Absolutely. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight, man.
Well, thank you. I've got
How you
news
doing?
actually. Good.
You got news.
Yes. So just today, I just got my notification that I have authorization to take my boards for the nurse practitioner license.
Awesome.
Get out of here. Congratulations.
Yeah, it's, exciting, terrifying, all the above, but just ready to get
Dude,
it
you're
over
gonna-
with and
You're going to kill it. You're going to kill it.
You got it.
Appreciate
You got it.
Yeah,
got
you if you need to get pumped up before you go you give us a call. We'll give you a pump
Mm.
up. Okay.
Yeah.
we'll do it.
All right. Awesome.
Sounds good.
So man, thanks for coming on again, Jay. I'm glad to hear that. So I've known you for quite a while, but Joe and Sandy, they've kind of just met you recently, and our viewers out here, this is the first time meeting you as well. So
Sure.
why don't you go ahead and give us why don't you guys tell us a little bit about who you are and what it is you do?
Yeah. So basically, for my entire life, I've just been a professional student. It's been a reoccurring
Sweet.
joke in the campus ministry out in the church I'm a part of that I'm just always a part of it because I'm always in school. But I think I'm officially done now.
Wow.
I have a degree in something called exercise science or kinesiology, and I was doing that for quite some time in the like personal training arena. Designed like a group fitness protocol and trained people in various kind of areas. Trained a lot of young athletes from collegiate level to down to like kindergarten level. I've worked with special needs, military, people who've come back from overseas who have been injured, helping rehab. I've worked with cardiac rehab in the exercise setting. And then I married my high school sweetheart, Kelly. She's wonderful. She's a nurse. And I decided I want to be a nurse one day when I fell off a roof.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, it was bad. So
How does
I
that?
got into the exercise science gig because I wanted to help people be healthy. And we had just come back from our honeymoon, me and my wife, and her father, my father-in-law, he does a lot of like house flipping. And so I was helping out one day on a roof, and just like, you know, you have to unroll something called ice paper before you put down shingles
Mm-hmm.
in Illinois, at least. Maybe not in other parts of the country, but so I'm rolling this thing out, and I literally like Wile E. Coyote walked off the roof. Had that moment where like I looked down, like it literally felt like I froze. Looked down, and I was like, oh man, just
Oh,
This is
wham.
gonna hurt. This is gonna hurt.
So,
How high?
Hurt a little.
it was like I mean, it was greater than 10 feet, which is not good, and it was on concrete.
Did you
Oh,
break
like-
anything, Jay?
You know, I got really lucky. I don't know. I think I may have. I didn't have health insurance at the time, so I just didn't go.
Oh my god.
Me, the NP. I can't even tell the story. But I've known my wife for forever. Like, I met her in the 6th grade,
Aw.
and I looked at her and I went, "Yep," and she went, "Nope." So I just wore her down over time. But
Check yes or no, and she's no,
Big no. Yeah. So anyway, I've known her for a long time, but when I fell off the roof, she was there, and I met a different person like in that moment. You know, she switched into nurse mode and assessed me, made sure like I didn't have internal bleeding. I was real upset. My thumb was bleeding, and I was like, my thumb. She was like, I don't care about your thumb. And she didn't say that, but
Her look did.
wanted
Her
to.
look did.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it was just like, and then there was another time where we were driving home from Chicago, and there was this bad accident, and right in front of us on the highway, and she didn't even hesitate. She just jumps out of the car, goes and helps stabilize the situation. There were kids involved. Everyone ended up being okay. But just the fact that she flew into action and was able to know what to do, and I thought to myself, like, I want to do that. I want to be able to do that.
Wow.
So I went back to school in the accelerated program of nursing, which is a 15-month program. They condensed it into that time, and it was terrible.
I was
Yeah.
about to say that's a lot
Yeah.
in a short amount of time.
It was awful.
You think it's awful?
From there, I did critical care nursing in the hospital, and now just completed this master's program for my nurse practitioner, where I plan to practice in like the family practice setting. Now that I have young kids, I want to be home more. You know, I don't want to be in the hospital with these 13-hour shifts. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's me. That's where I'm coming from.
And
How-
seriously, I mean, hats off to nurses and doctors. I mean, that can go in action, because I know I could never do that. Someone pass out in front of me, and I'm just like, and that was it. That's all I could do. I was just staring.
I imagine Sandy being like, wait a minute, TikTok.
I couldn't even
Did it
do
for the
that.
vine.
I was just staring with my mouth open. I'm not even kidding. And like these nurses, they were like, I'm a nurse, and they came right to it, and I'm just like, I still couldn't do anything. But yes,
No, I get you, Sandy. You're right, though. It's
I
it's wild. Like, man, people who have like official training, you guys, Jay, like I've seen some stuff like what Sandy's talking about, and you guys just jump into it and just like, I got it, scoot away, and then you start doing all your stuff, and I'm just like, that's great. I'm glad people like you exist, because
Yeah, honestly,
Jeez.
seriously, thank you for existing, people.
yes.
Thanks,
And Jay,
It's not always, you know, sometimes you get into situations where you're like, oh no. Like this last year, me and my two brother-in-laws and my father-in-law went backpacking together. We were on a plane, and like a movie, they were like, is there a doctor on the plane? And, you know, I'm a nurse, so I'm clearly outranked if there's a doctor there. So I like, and I didn't, you know, you never know what's going to happen when you walk into a situation like that.
Mhm.
So I was just sitting there like, Anybody?
Is it a doctor?
You're
Please
like,
be a
"No, not
doctor.
Fine, okay, I'm here. I'm a nurse. I can help. And it was cool. They put a headset on me, and I can't really get into sharing all the details of what actually happened. That person ended up being okay, but
It's a trust circle, Jay. Just kidding.
yeah, it's a very
there's-
big one, right? We're on the internet right now.
No one's gonna see
These,
this.
uh,
Okay,
these things
we're
called
not
the-
even
What are you
syndicated.
talking about? We're like worldwide, guys.
Man,
We're in China. We're in the UK. I mean,
Jaime told me you guys had like 5 million followers.
yeah,
Slight
billion.
exaggeration.
B.
4.5.
Slight.
I like it.
So you say that, Jay, and we were coming back from Europe, and there was a lady that passed on our plane, and so they were calling for nurses and doctors, of course, and so there was a doctor and a couple of nurses that were on there that were tending to the lady. But I mean, I'm just amazed. What did I do? I just sat and cried. That's all I could do.
Hey, sitting and crying has its place.
Oh, that's something a nurse would say. Totally right.
Boom.
Look at that. They can even take care of your feelings, Sandy.
I know.
That's
Man, Jay.
awesome.
I'm impressed, man. So anyhow, we brought you on the show because of your training, your schooling, and I really wanted to. The reason I focused in on dimensions of wellness was because I just kind of wanted to take some time. There's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of stuff that's been happening, and I wanted to kind of just help people remind themselves how to take care of themselves, how maybe not even just taking care of themselves, but what to help others look at too. And so that's kind of why I was like, guys, I want to do this Dimensions of Wellness series so that we can help our viewers just be well. And
Sure.
so speaking of that, I know you have some thoughts on this for us. So
Yeah.
that's something. Okay.
So I threw a sloppy PowerPoint together in the last like 20 minutes.
Nice.
Perfect,
What?
man. He's my soulmate right there.
Well,
I'm going to share it on the
okay.
screen. Is that okay?
That's how we
Yes,
work.
Jose.
We work best under pressure.
This is that. So physical health. That's one of those kind of in that arena. You were talking about the different. There's like a wheel. And physical health. Why should I exercise? Let me see if
Yeah,
can get
I
this to
need
work.
this.
There we go.
Ah,
Yeah, I'm into fitness. Fitness whole pizza in my mouth. That's what we're starting with. If this is you, then this is for you.
Okay, perfect. I'm listening.
That's definitely me.
they're up.
I'm going to be talking today about mostly like activity. Other things that we could be talking about in this realm would be like nutrition. And I wanted to focus in on a couple things. So we're going to be talking about physical exercise and then something called the stages of change model. Because I feel like when it comes to health, nutrition, exercise, and wellness, there's so much confusing media out there on this topic that it can make your head spin. If you go to the gym and you talk to 5 different people there who are working out, you're going to get 5 different stories of what it means to be physically well. And so I think one of the things that can kind of help break that overwhelming cloud of where to even start is just some hard facts.
Okay.
And I think, I read something a while back where the author had written that you could really write about 2 different articles on the topic of fitness and nutrition and be done, and no one else would need to write anything for all time. And they would essentially say, eat less, move more, and then some of the things that we're going to talk about here. But the fact of it is, the fitness industry is a big money maker, so they have to keep putting out new articles in order to keep making money and keep people subscribed. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah.
So let's just dive in.
Okay.
So benefits of regular exercise for the promotion of health and cure of disease has clearly been shown. So everything in this PowerPoint, the presentation aspect of it, I would totally fail in school. But all of this is taken from PubMed articles. These are medical journals. Some of it's just straight up copy and pasted, and some of
So
it is kind of
you're
written.
saying that it's not just from a Facebook post? That's what you're
No.
saying?
Right. Good.
Well, Jay, just the fact that you brought a PowerPoint lets you know that at the social UnDistancing show, you would have. This is an A workout.
Yeah,
right,
So
that's
Yeah,
definitely-
you're above.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
your square should be all the way at the top, but we can't. I tried. Didn't
right.
work.
Okay. This isn't Hollywood Square.
No,
Is that even still a show?
Yeah.
Anyway.
I don't know.
Okay. So I don't need to read all these out because I've had this screen up for a long time. People have had plenty of time to read it, but there's been ample evidence, overwhelming evidence that exercise is can be useful in the prevention and reduction of all kinds of disease, ranging from pulmonary and cardiovascular disease, metabolic disorders, overall bone, joint, and muscle health, even cancer and mental health, such as depression. And so, and there's I can give you a video link a little bit later. I didn't want to bring it. It's a 10-minute video that kind of overlays some of that in a very well done format.
Yeah,
but
when you
the
send it to us,
recommendations,
we'll get it put in the comments for you, so that way everyone can go back and look at it later.
Oh, yes.
okay, perfect. So the recommendations in 1995, there's this group called the American College of Sports Medicine, or ACSM, and they were a lot of the foundational things that we talked about in my first program, exercise science. And they put out this. They worked with the Centers for Disease Control, or CDC, or they get a lot of airtime right now. And they published these national guidelines on physical activity and public health. These were developed by a team of like doctors, exercise physiologists, exercise scientists. That's technically what my first degree was, and then public health specialists, which look at like epidemiology of the top morbidity and mortality concerns and how they're all related to physical wellness. This was then supported by the Committee on Exercise and Cardiac Rehab, stems from the American Heart Association. So big names.
Yeah, no kidding.
And these are still these recommendations, which you can go and find and read, which I'm going to go over a little bit, have definitely stood the test of time, have been supported by all of the research since then, and are still talked about today. So these are kind of like the foundation. And they're really wordy if you go and look them up, but I kind of broke them down here into some paraphrased segments that make it more easy to understand. So the recommendations for any adult 18 to 65 years old includes moderate intensity cardiovascular exercise for at least 30 minutes a day. You like that? 5 or more, 5 or more days a week. Or vigorous aerobic exercise for at least 20 minutes for 3 or more days a week. And then additionally, on top of that, they recommend at least 2 days of resistance training each week to increase or maintain muscle mass. So these are baseline. These are not for an athlete. These are for like everyday
Couch potatoes.
Regular Joe Schmoes.
That's right.
Or every Joe Wade. I don't remember what that last part says, Joe. Sorry.
Now, if you're like me, so I'm going to tell you something. When I first got into the exercise science program, I was not an exerciser. In fact, I think I applied to a few different programs, and it was like, okay, with my GPA, what can I actually get into? So
that's smart.
I was that guy, and that's not to bash the program for those who are watching. It's a very good program. So I was that guy. They were like, okay, do a presentation on a health, like a not very healthy food, and then like a healthy food you could substitute it for. And I was that guy who was like, yeah, this brand of potato chips has a trans fat in it, and this brand of potato chips doesn't have trans fat in it. And then the next person got up and they were like, you should eat carrots. And I was like, oh, shoot, that's a good one. So if you're looking at that and you're like me, that seemed overwhelming to me at first, like, wow, 30 minutes, 5 or more days, like who has the time? And then on top of that, you're asking me to resistance train. That means like, in the gym with weights. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So I remember feeling overwhelmed about all that. Like, it's kind of like, when people talk about the recommendations for getting vitamins and minerals, you're like, I'm just going to be eating all day. Like, I can't do that. So I wanted to highlight this guy here.
Can we? Sorry.
Chug it. No.
Yeah.
So adults who are unable or unwilling to meet the exercise targets outlined here can still benefit from engaging in amounts of exercise less than the recommended. So we're going to get into that in a little bit.
7-minute workout.
That's right.
That's actually 9 minutes.
So I simply don't even start, right? So that's where this comes in.
Man, he's
called,
got some great ones.
Yeah, he does.
This is more of the psychology realm, Prochaska and De Clemente. I'm sure I'm saying that wrong. But these are like the stages of change in any behavior. So you take a given behavior. It could be trying to quit smoking, trying to be more active, trying to eat better. This circle, this wheel, if you will, applies to anything. So there's, I would say it starts here at the top. Can you guys see my cursor?
Yes.
Yes.
Perfect. So pre-contemplation would be Like when I'm in the clinic and I'm talking to a patient, I say, do you smoke? And they say, yes. And I say, do you think you'd ever quit? And they're like, no,
That's Joe.
never.
Yes,
Then
I smoke all the time.
like a chimney, I hear.
He's a smoker.
Okay, we still love you. So pre-contemplation would be like, I'm not even touching that, okay? And then after that, you have this contemplation, which would be kind of like saying, I know I should change, but it seems overwhelming. There's no way, okay? Preparation is when like, okay, I'm going to do this. You haven't actually done anything yet. Oh, my clock does bird sounds. I'm sorry about that.
Oh, that's right.
I'm gonna download the app. That's what that means.
Nice. So preparation is, I need to make some changes. I have a heart to make some changes, but I don't maybe exactly know what to do yet, so I'm starting to think about it, okay?
Okay.
And then action is, I have my plan together. I'm starting tomorrow. Let's do this. Now, maintenance, what I was taught is if you have a behavior that you've maintained for about 6 months or greater, then you're in the maintenance phase. So this is sustained change. Your new behaviors have replaced your old habits. And so now you couldn't really think about going backward, except for that you can, because there's this one here called relapse.
Oh yeah,
So-
that's a good one right there.
Yeah. So then the
I
whole
think
thing
Joe's goes from pre-contemplation right to relapse. Is that possible? Can you skip some of the spheres?
No,
Well,
no. I go
You
all
can.
I go all through that in one day.
Right.
here. So Joe, this is for you then. Upward spiral. See this down here? Each
Uh-huh.
time a person goes through the cycle, they learn from each relapse, and it says hopefully grow stronger so that relapse is shorter or less devastating.
Oh, that hopefully
So-
part. Mm.
Yeah.
Got you. Got him.
People can technically jump in and out of, different parts of this wheel. So, except for maybe maintenance, that takes that 6 months time. So that's just something I thought was good to change. And then, small changes add up. So this has been very researched in terms of, have you guys heard of intrinsic versus extrinsic motivation?
No.
Yeah, it's what I see the difference between Sandy and Joe sometimes.
Oh, perfect.
Right?
So
I think
that
I'm
means
pretty
like internally you want to change, or somebody's forcing you to change.
Yes. Either you have a drill sergeant breathing down your neck, that would be very external. Or you have a very internal motivation, would be it's from within yourself. You're very motivated to change. So motivation is and psychology is a huge part of health. And one of the things that's been widely researched is this idea of the benefit of aiming for small goals in the beginning of a journey so you can kind of gain steam. And it's kind of like, go back to me when I'm in my program looking around at all the other very fit people around me. And I remember thinking like, yeah, I went straight to like pre-contemplation. I was like, okay, tomorrow I'm going to run 5 miles. Then I'm going to go lift. I'm going to eat well. And I woke up the next day and I was like, yeah, I'm not doing any of this.
I know the feeling. I know.
Yeah.
Sandy's a runner, Jay.
Wow.
I dabble in running.
Oh, Sandy.
She
Being
dabbles.
She demolishes running.
You
That's what she
travel to run, so
Yeah.
don't tell me that you dabble.
Yeah.
I dabble in running because the water sprinkler came on and I'm going to get wet. That's dabbling in running.
That's a real thing. I looked up today and my kids were holding the hose. And,
does. He was like, I can't help it. I gotta go.
right. So a good example, this has been researched, like if you have a sedentary individual who does no exercise, it would be better to advise them to focus on walking like walk a block, walk 2 blocks. I see you. Then starting a vigorous exercise regimen, which always killed me. In the state of Illinois, to be a fitness trainer, you essentially don't need any training. You can have like a 2-week certification. And so I would see take people without knowing anything about their health history and make them do burpees until they threw up. And I always felt like, okay, now they hate exercise forever.
Yes.
And you might kill them. Like they might leave the parking lot and have a heart attack. You don't know. So it would be much better for someone to have a goal of, I'm going to walk 1 to 2 blocks and get that under their belt and then keep moving forward than have this idea that they're just going to hit it. I'm going to do a marathon tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
So small changes can benefit health. Why? Because simpler actions become habits much more quickly. And when you can get a habit under your belt and change it, when you can get in that maintenance phase, your self-efficacy, your belief in yourself goes up, which can stimulate more changes. So, forming these small habits can lead to more self-confidence and more changes, more health goals that get achieved.
You know, that reminds me a lot, Jay. It makes me think of like, I mean, in all seriousness, is there's sometimes it's kind of like that adage where it's like, I don't remember how it goes, but it's if you want, don't hang around a bad crowd, for example. If you don't want to do bad things or be associated in those bad circles or whatnot.
Right.
And so it kind of makes me the same thing. It's like your environment's going to help promote whatever it is you're trying to get to.
Absolutely.
So you got to make those changes, right? Like I can't keep saying I want to walk the blocks, but then I'm not doing anything for myself, and I'm not finding those people that are trying to be the same way.
Exactly right. Yeah.
Birds of a feather flock together.
Watch out, man.
Oh,
You gotta
man.
actually undistance yourself.
Hashtag.
Hashtag birds of a feather. Started here. Sorry, Jay.
So no, you're good. These are just some books that I found helpful. The two here, the yellow and the purple, are by the same author. One is kind of designed more for men, one's more designed for women. And I read it, like in the last 2 years, and it just like hit me like, wow, this guy must have been through the same program I was in, because he's using all of the same research. Everything that he writes is like chock full of scientific journal articles.
Mm-hmm.
And it really did sum up a lot of what I learned. So what I wanted to do is not just leave you without a resource at the end of this. If you're interested, if you're listening today and you're hearing this and you're thinking, if you're in that contemplation phase and you don't really know what to do next, if you know me personally, you can give me a call. And if not, then I would start with reading these. The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg is a great book on just how powerful habits are and how much our daily lives are run by habits and how to change those. So those are all excellent things to read.
So is that third book? Is that one more of a? Is that
It's
one not related health wise, but it's more of like just the idea of habits, replacing them and things?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be another whole rabbit hole I could go down. Habits kind of are. There's been a lot of research in habits and how kind of the subconscious habits that we run on a daily basis, the triggers and the just the actions that we do are very ingrained in us.
Right.
If you can become aware of it, then you can kind of change it and get momentum. So
That is the number one. Bigger, Leaner, Stronger is the number one bestseller in ab workouts on Amazon.
I believe
Really?
Yeah.
I have a birthday coming up, so I'd like thinner, leaner, stronger, please.
Okay,
Good one.
good to know.
You're about to get 3 copies of that, Sandy.
Did you,
Okay.
did you hear that, assistant?
I already texted to him.
Okay.
All right, so that's what I got.
Oh, he even cited his. Oh my goodness.
Man,
That's
you
a
are a
crazy-
stud.
Yeah.
You know what? If my professor were watching this, they'd physically beat me if I didn't.
Well, good
Did I
job.
do that right?
Yeah, you did.
Okay.
Man, we need him producing. What are we doing here?
I mean, what happened?
I mean, your job is the producer piece, right? Like, I'll let you deal with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well,
So, Jay, how long
go
have you
ahead.
been doing this? How long have you been? First, how long did you spend in the not sports medicine? I'm sorry. What was it?
It's exercise
Kinesiology.
science is one of those really,
Thanks, Joe.
like you say that. I remember talking to my own family. They're like, "What'd you get a degree in?" I'm like, "Exercise science," and I just get these like stares.
Kind of like us now.
Yeah, that's okay. So
I'm sorry.
it's a super broad field, actually. It goes from anything from biomechanics, which is literally like the really smart guys, way smarter than me, that work with like making sure that tennis shoes are the exact right materials to get the right kind of force on the basketball court. That's right.
Good sport.
I can't do that.
We knew
To
what you meant.
certified strength and conditioning coaches that work with like the NFL teams. And then you have people like me who like work at the local gym doing personal training. So you learn a lot about how the body responds to exercise, how to prescribe exercise. Things like nutrition, things like that.
So, I'm gonna call you out right now and be like, don't sell yourself short, man. Okay, you got an exercise degree, and then you went to nursing school, and then you just finished your nurse practitioner schooling, and about to go get your exam for that, dude. So don't
Yeah.
talk yourself down like you're some sort of chump on the street or whatever like that. You put our lives are in people like you's hands. Okay, so you busted your butt to work hard to get what you're at, where you're at, man.
You know what's
And
funny
so
is
that means something.
I always hated school, and yet there you go.
He's a lifetime student. You're a lifetime student, though. So
Yeah.
Yeah. My wife, I think, would kill me if I mentioned any more schooling at this point.
she's like, no. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, you know, and that's funny because my wife over the years, she has talked to me, and Dr. Pineapples has often said, maybe I should go to medical school. And I'm always like, what? And she's like, I mean, I don't know. And over the years, it's gone from maybe to, I think I want to. No.
Ooh.
Oh, you know what? She goes in the circle. She goes in the circle, and then she keeps.
Contemplation. Yep.
Yes. She goes through it all, and I
Relax.
swear one day she's gonna come at me, and she's just gonna be like, "Hi, man, I went ahead and signed up," or you know, how you know.
You know what? I had a physician talk to me about that, and he said that the cheapest yet still valid education you can get is like in the Bahamas, which sounds kind of great.
Like Kelly.
They don't have skunks over there.
I did tell her that, and there was like a second. She was like, "No,
Oh, come on.
no."
She's like, no.
It's because of kids, isn't it? It's because she's like, I don't know that raising kids is the
Yeah.
best in the Bahamas.
Probably not."
You could have been like, well, maybe we don't need to raise them in the Bahamas.
You have some pretty great in-laws. Oh,
Yeah.
I guess my kids.
So how long have you been? How long did you do? That was my original question. How long were
Oh.
you in your exercise with your degree before you decided, hey, I want to move into the accelerated program? Because I know that said you said it took you 15 months to complete.
Yeah, I think I'm not a great historian when it comes to like it all kind of blurs, but I want to say, geez, how old am I?
Young.
These are excellent questions.
Right.
I want to say I finished my first degree in 2011,
Okay.
and then completed my nursing degree in 2016, and I've been a nurse since then. And obviously, I just now finished my nurse practitioner. So
Man, you're gonna have some free time coming up. I hope some better free time.
we'll see.
So, with your experience and seeing how people have been, we've been in a new type of world these days and stuff. Do you have some advice like you think that people could really use in terms of? Because you said like earlier, you're like, you know, it's as easy as going walking a block, 2 blocks and stuff. Well, what if there's certain people who just have that? You know, I don't really feel secure going outside right now, or maybe venturing outside of my house. So, are there some things, you know, easy enough for folks to kind of just do at home and that you can suggest and be like, you know,
Yeah.
this
You
is
want
a
me
good
to
way to
go
keep your.
to fitness class right now? You guys
No. I was just thinking.
Yeah, don't do that.
That was actually one of the worst experiences of my life. Like, bro, can you teach a Zumba class? And I'm like, technically, yeah. No.
That's not the type of fitness I teach. I'm sorry.
That's like.
Fitness pizza?
So Joe's a photographer, and that's the exact same expression I imagine whenever people ask him, "Hey, will you photo our wedding?" Joe's like, "Yeah." That's his number one. He's like, "I don't do weddings and I don't do quinceaneras, so
Yeah, I get all
don't ask."
itchy. I think I'm allergic to that stuff. Ew. Ugh.
That's fair. Yeah, it's a great question. So I was just looking on Reddit the other day about home exercises. There are some creative people out there.
Yeah.
I was lucky enough to, like, as soon as I heard that the gym was going to shut down, I purchased a bunch of equipment and kind of built a gym in my basement, which not everybody
Has a basement?
Yeah. or cares that much, you know?
Right.
So there are a lot of things that you can do. One of the things I saw on Reddit was, you can literally fill bags with sand on a scale, see what they weigh, and then put them like on the end of like a broom handle, and you can do exercises that way. And then you can still do what's called progressive overload, where you're challenging your muscles to grow within a specific set range or whatever. I have, when I went from hospital nursing, where you're constantly on your feet, always running around, doing a bunch of crazy stuff, to office, this is funny. I bought something called a QB. So this is a QB. It is under the desk elliptical.
Okay, yeah.
It connects to Bluetooth on your phone and kind of tracks calories, distance. Actually lines up with Fitbit and does like your step count.
Nice.
So
Google that sucker, Jamie.
I am right now. Now.
If you're stuck to a desk, it's a good thing. This is runs about, I want to say, $300 or so. I got mine on like
$60,
a good deal.
Right.
Oh wait, how much?
We need something with
it's
a coupon.
pricey, but there are different versions of things like that. So, you could.
You see my eyes?
One thing that's really nice that I've noticed is in these strange times,
there
are a lot of, like, for instance, I'm part of a gym here called Four Seasons, and they have a lot of their trainers have been putting out YouTube videos for free of exercises that people can do at home. So there is a wide plethora of. Oh, Alexa's going nuts over here. Alexa, stop.
A plethora of piñatas.
Look.
So there's lots of resources out there, and whatever you're interested in, if yoga is your thing, or if strength and conditioning is your thing, or aerobic exercise, and you don't want to invest in something like this, there is a large wealth of resources, like on YouTube, for instance, that trainers have been putting out, and a lot of it's free.
So there's nothing that we should be overly cautious about, like when we look for this stuff up, right? Like, nothing that's like, do this weird thing, and it's like, okay, let's not.
Like,
what I mean?
Anytime ever you're on the internet, there's that article like, eat these 5 things.
Yes.
And you'll become Superman. I don't know.
Eat these 5 things and you'll have the flattest abs stomach ever.
It'll just be under all the fat, but they'll be the flattest. Promise.
Yeah.
I will say there's nothing that you can eat that will give you 6-pack abs.
Oh.
No. So bad.
That was brutal.
I just ordered something.
Maybe a tapeworm, but I don't recommend that.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Tapeworms.
Yeah, don't do that.
Don't do that.
Interesting.
I think the biggest piece of advice, without getting into the nitty-gritty, would be just that eat less, move more, and then I would say listen to your body. If you're having pain, now there's a difference between muscle soreness, like the day after you do an exercise, and one of the things that I learned is that if you're having pain on both sides of your body, and it's like after you've exercised, or maybe in the middle of like the reps or whatever you want to call it, that can be pretty normal, and it's kind of like a soreness. But if you're having like a sharp pain on one side of your body only, that's usually an injury, or your body telling you that there's an impending injury, and you should stop.
I get those all the time.
Yeah, he does.
They just tell me to stop, and I'm like, okay, cool.
Jay, what's your take on the 7-minute workout?
7-minute workout.
Yeah. Have you seen that?
I'm incredibly social media unaware, so you'll have to enlighten me. I'm sorry.
So basically, it's a 7-minute workout. You do jumping jacks, and then there's like a 15-second break, or maybe 10-second. And then you do planks, you do wall sits, and you do that for 7 minutes, and then there's a 2-minute cool-off period.
Yeah, it's like a high-intensity workout.
Yeah, high intensity.
Okay.
Is that beneficial?
So HIIT is a thing, high-intensity interval training.
Yeah.
Yep, that's it.
As made popular by things like P90X and back in the day. Basically, high-intensity interval training can be thought of as like a. I always want to be careful what I say in these kind of environments, because I feel like when you have authority and you talk, people like take the one thing you say and they're like, "Oh, that must be it."
So put it in the ballpark of.
We would
and that way
never
you can
do
say,
that.
And I
Say-
quote Jay Dietrich.
Right?
that.
Well,
Yeah,
Jay
just stressing
Dietrich
them out more.
says.
It's useful for burning a lot of calories in a short amount of time. I would not recommend it to anybody who is like just starting out. If you like, I wouldn't go from sedentary to HIIT, or like if you know that you have an underlying condition like a heart condition or COPD, I would not go right into HIIT, if that makes sense. If you have been seeing your primary care provider and you know that you are cleared to exercise, I think it would be fine to start low, go slow, and listen to your body and work your way. It kind of goes back to that thing I was sharing before in that crummy PowerPoint. You want to set small goals and kind of work your way forward. So if you are currently doing a program where you're doing HIIT and you feel great about it and you enjoy it, I think that's awesome. I think HIIT is definitely a very useful way to burn a lot of calories and maybe meet your goals. That would go back to, I don't know if you could remember those recommendations, but the vigorous aerobic activity for 20 minutes, 3 days or more a week, that would fit in that category. That would be the high intensity interval training.
But that's not something you want to get right out of the door or right off the couch and hit those, right? That's what you were saying earlier. Like you want to kind of build up to that.
Yeah, I mean, if you're
For the sedentary people.
an athlete, right? So it would be my recommendation to start with something maybe a little, just test the waters before you just start doing burpees till you puke or you say burpees in that workout. But
Sandy's like, too late.
Right. I hate burpees.
I don't know if anyone, if somebody told me like I really enjoy burpees, I kind of worry about them a little bit.
They're psychopaths.
They call them
If they-
burpees because they,
Yeah, because you end up throwing up just
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
Mhm.
if they tell me that, I'm going to look
fun.
around. I'm going to be like, where's she at?
Yeah.
Who are you trying to impress?
Right.
I think I remember hearing that, for instance, if you're going for a walk, I know you get the most bang for your buck if you can get over the 10-minute threshold. Now, high intensity interval training is higher in intensity than that, and you're going to get benefit from exercise. You're going to get benefit from exercise regardless of the time that you do it or like the frequency.
Mhm.
But they call it a dose response. So the more you do, the more benefit you'll get. So those recommendations that I threw on that PowerPoint were for non-athletes. Athletes have a whole different prescription from the American College of Sports Medicine that's obviously higher.
Yeah.
But I would almost say it would almost be useful if someone could toss out like a intro to,
High
the
intensity.
recommendation. Well, just even the recommendation for activity, like more like that. Let's walk a block.
Man, when you decide to do that, you let us know.
Right,
And we'll give you a
exactly.
platform to share that with, okay?
Let's
good.
walk a block. Let's
sure
stand
somebody
up.
Yeah.
Let's get up earlier.
Simon says, touch your nose.
Right, exactly. Put the candy bar down.
Yes.
Simon didn't say.
Right,
Right.
exactly.
Keep eating. Well, Jay, I appreciate you coming on tonight and sharing with us this. I'm really, really, really glad that you were able to have the time. I can't imagine how it is being as busy because you're still working, right? Like you still go to the clinic and stuff, don't you? Or the
So
hospital?
I know that the virus is kind of like Voldemort, right? We don't like to talk about it.
Right.
So I'm currently part of something called the OSF Pandemic Health Worker Program, and it was really great because I was trying to. I really, as a nurse, you want to do your part for the pandemic, but then my wife's actually pregnant. And
congratulations.
Thank you. So there's this whole, this internal battle with me where I was like, I really want to get back to the hospital and help out, but then at the same time, I want to bring that home. And then this opportunity popped up where it's called a digital hospital. So this is my office right now, and we monitor the whole state of Illinois, some of Michigan, and basically are monitoring people from home, their symptoms. We send them a package with like a thermometer and different things where they can help us check in with them and see what are your symptoms today. Do you need this to be escalated to talk to a provider? Do you need medication? And now we're looking even into more resources than that.
Wow.
Like getting in touch with resources locally, like with food or just it's a really great program. So I've been able to do that, and been able to interact with people all over the state, and I hear lots of stories. I hear kind of the full spectrum of what's going on,
Yeah.
how people are affected. So it's been really, really cool to be a part of.
You were
And,
also doing some help out in some certain communities prior, right?
For my program, for the Nurse Practitioner program,
Uh-huh.
I had clinicals kind of all over the place, from family practices like in Gibson City. I don't know if our listeners even know where that is. To like here in Bloomington, where I'm at, there's called the Community Healthcare Clinic, which is people who essentially can't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, and it's healthcare that's provided. The idea is that there are a lot of people who aren't insured
Mm-hmm.
and who still, have emergencies and things like that. And if they end up in the ER, it's very expensive, and it's very hard for them to get service and to get their needs met. And so it's a
Right.
place where people in that boat can go and have all of their health needs met. They have people who donate time. They have cardiovascular doctors, pulmonologists, dentists, and just anything you can think of. Women's health.
Be able to
and
provide
get
some service for
and
these
to get
folks.
their needs. Yeah, and it's for that patient, it is free of cost. So, and it actually, when you look at the whole model, the prevention of these individuals going to the ER, because if you don't have a primary care doctor and don't have insurance, you're going to end up in the ER.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have a team of people who are helping you stay out of the ER, it's actually, I feel like it's a great benefit to the community, obviously for people who need the help, and it actually is financially wiser. It's better than just people going to the
And
ER.
going to the ER. I see what you're saying.
So a lot of
Awesome.
it is, yep. So it's cool. You get a lot of opportunities in healthcare to do a lot of cool things.
Yeah. But Jay, we're getting to that time where we got to let you go. I hate it, but
Yeah, time flies.
Okay, my kids are in bed, so I ought to be in bed.
oh, that's all right. Listen, before we let you go, though, there are a couple things we want to cover with you real quick.
Okay.
So, we always like to ask our guests who come on to give us a topic for a future episode. Or no, I always do that sometimes. I want you to we're going to give you some time to plug
All right.
whatever it is you want to plug, man. So whether, good peace, world health, whatever it is, you get the screen time by yourself to say whatever it is you want to say.
All right. Let me pull up information about that clinic I was just talking about.
Okay. And that clinic's here in the Bloomington, Normal, Illinois, right? Area.
So the Community Healthcare Clinic, that's what it's called. I'm going to pull up their website.
Okay.
So their little thing here says providing quality health care to McLean County's medically underserved residents through the operation of a free clinic. And this is when I was blown away. So when I went there, I've always thought, if I want to help serve a population, I'm going to have to go to another country. I'm going to have to go on a mission trip. And then I walked into this clinic, and it is incredible. I mean, they have, obviously, I was talking about the different physicians, nurse practitioners, and nurses, and other professionals who donate their time. They have 2 NPs that work there and see a lot of these people as their kind of regular patient base, if you will. But I went there, and they have their own pharmacy where medications are donated. And so literally I would talk to a patient, I would diagnose what they had, and I'd walk in the back, grab an antibiotic, and just hand it to them and say, here you go, take this.
Wow.
Nice.
And they manage chronic illness there, so they are they're giving people medications to manage like heart failure, hypertension, diabetes. If you can think of it, they were managing it there. And so there are 2 kind of hospitals in town, and I'm not sure what all I'm allowed to say. They're very generous there's a lot of generosity there on how this clinic runs. It's incredible. But they do take donations.
Okay.
Click on the donate button, see where it goes.
If you'll share that with me afterwards too, we'll make sure to get it posted in the comments for everyone.
Can I put this in like the private chat?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is a link that you can go to donate to that cause. It's incredibly well run. None of the money that you would donate would go to waste. And I can tell you that interacting with the patients there was just an incredible experience. I can't really share any of those stories because of HIPAA.
That's okay. We don't want you to bring any of those things, so no
We
problem.
believe you, though. We believe you.
Yes.
Right.
A lot of that clientele were people who were here. I'm trying to be careful how I word this. Here, coming away from a bad situation somewhere else, that were very wonderful people. And, I'd hear stories about things that they were trying to do in their community from where they came from that were incredibly noble. And then
Yeah.
bad characters would come and kind of take over and tell them what you were doing no longer belongs to you. And so they would flee here to get a better life. And
Nice.
it's just, just what people go through. It's just incredible to be able to help people who, I just believe that people are fundamentally good, and the more that we can do to help our fellow man, it's just important. So this is a great way to do that.
Excellent.
And it's a plug.
Okay.
Awesome.
Thank you. And Jay, for our final question, we ask all of our guests to give us a topic for a future episode. And so with that in mind, do you have a topic that you'd like for the three of us to cover for a future episode?
Yeah. So, there it is. See this right here?
Chessboard.
A chessboard.
Uh-huh.
Chess is a beautiful and underrated game. It is, it is art. It is logic. It's beautiful. It's the game of kings. So you guys should dive into that. And
I'm writing it down.
yeah, man. There's an app called chess.com. It's an app on the phone. It's also a website. And there's another, Jaime, Hayden.
Yeah.
from
Oh,
church.
yeah, that's right. Yes.
So I'm actually pretty bad at chess. I got into it like when I was 30, which is like really old because it's always like the kids now who are doing incredible things.
Yeah, that's crazy watching those kids play.
Man, and so I'm like I started doing the like chess.com. It's free. They have like lessons on there. I started in like the 5th percentile in the world, which is really great for your self-esteem. And now I'm in like the 60th or between that and 70, so I'm okay. But Hayden's like in the 96th percentile or something crazy.
Hayden's
He's good.
really, yeah.
We've probably played like 5,000 games, and I might have beat him like 5 times. And you bet I was like, yes, like every time.
You
Feel
like
good.
Super Bowl win?
Like, in your face after I just lost like 4,000 games in a row.
Yeah. You're like, but you didn't get that one, sucker.
Okay, today's date. But chess is great. It's kind of one of those things that you just kind of the feeling that you get when you complete a Sudoku.
Yeah.
But you kind of build on it for your entire life.
Right.
We'll take your word for it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm raising kids. I think that's my Sudoku.
There you go. But the reason I brought him up, we always joke that like we're gonna meet somebody one day and be like, I like chess, and then that other person will be like, me too. And our joke is like, it's never happened before.
Oh, okay.
So
Sorry, we
Okay.
can't meet your dream today either.
Right.
actually, I have a story about it though.
But we will take that one as a topic, bro.
good.
So I appreciate it.
No problem.
Jay, thanks for coming on tonight. I really appreciate your time, man. And I hope you get some good rest tonight. And thank you for all the work that you've been doing. And, man, wishing you the best on your exam.
Appreciate it.
Oh, yes,
Awesome.
Jay.
Thanks, Jay. I appreciate it.
Good luck.
Let us
meet you
know
guys.
when you take your exam, okay?
Can do.
All right, brother, man. You have a good night.
Have a good
Take
night.
care.
Jay.
Yeah, we'll see you.
Awesome.
Wow. So
Awesome.
I guess I need to start exercising or something.
I feel like that's the
Maybe I should
message.
fall off the roof and see if I want to be a nurse.
Hush, Sandy. I don't know that works. That logic works right, okay? Assistant, please don't let her do that, okay?
He's not even listening. He's like, sure.
He's snoring away, huh?
He's
That's
like,
all right.
whatever. He's like, whatever.
Guys, thanks for hanging out with us a little bit extra tonight. I really appreciate y'all hanging out and listening to Jay here. Tomorrow night, we have my wonderful wife joining us, Dr. Pineapples.
Whoa.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of weird.
It's going to be weird because she's usually in bed by now.
Oh, yeah. She's not the night owl. She's the one that wakes up early in the morning and ready to go kind of stuff. We're flipped, but tomorrow night we'll both be on here. And that's going to be the weird part for me. I was telling someone, I was like, I don't know if I should take it as though I'm just interviewing her, like I don't know her, or like the proud husband that I am and total fanboy over her.
So we'll
tomorrow night,
probably,
so.
Sandy,
You'll probably
we're not going to be saying much.
I'm gonna need you to mute my mic, Joe.
Right, exactly. I'm like, okay, you can shut up now.
Yeah. So, but please come tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, my wife is going to be, Dr. Pina is going to be discussing emotional wellness. Okay,
Nice.
and she definitely has her creds for this, guys. So, yeah,
Perfect.
I'm gonna stop talking.
Awesome. We're excited.
All right. Well, guys, as usual,
Remember to wash your hands.
for at least 20 seconds.
You filthy animals.
Good night,
Heck.
everybody.
Have
Good
a good night. So basically what he's saying is the 7-minute workout is good.
I think he said the 7-minute workout's good, but
as a starting point.
Well,
I think-
yeah. So if I start with like 2 minutes of the 7-minute workout,
Oh my
then
goodness.
I'm good.
No.
I think so. That's what
then
I
that
heard.
turns into an 11-minute workout, doesn't it?
That's what I heard. That's what I heard.
I was pretty sure he said something about like 30